Eh, eh. Come back here with the titles and find out what it's all about. Hey everybody, Anthony Dodge, Mile Train Outsider, American Outsider, a Night of the Rhomboid table here with a sort of a little bit of everything or a lot of nothing video. Finally got, after a small adventure coming over from Canada, the dining car that goes with the 4-car set. 3 of the cars I got from Dave from Scott Rails, the French really cool French car set. And I've been working on the scenery, and I'll just let the videos explain what I've done there. So first thing is, let's take a look at this. I'll get it open, put it on the track, and go from there.
1 hour later.
Okay, well, before I go any further, a little bit of a surprise. The dining car I knew came with the wrong couplers, and I figured since I got an extra car I could just change couplers and add the dining car. You can't. It's a totally different bogie system. Even though it's all Meccano, it's the same set. I'm really frustrated with Meccano because the same car set, 3 different bogie sets. Obviously, one for Europe, one for America, one for the UK, I guess. I don't know. But it still looks good. I've actually jury-rigged the current bogies. It actually had the hook bogies familiar, you know, sort of like a D-ring hook bogie that you get with the UK models. So I just assumed that, like all the bogies, they unscrewed off at the like all the couplers, they unscrewed at the coupler, which is what I did for the other car I bought, which gave me the extra couplers I needed. So no, I don't know that I'll be able to run it, but at least I jury-rigged it to have it together for now. So now let's take a look at it. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. You can see the gap's a little different, but this is that dining car. It's really cool. I like that it is a different color, although there apparently is also a dining car in a matching green color. The only version of that I found is a Lima, and this is before Lima and Rivarossi. Well, Rivarossi bought out Lima before they were all bought out by Hornby, and that's just it. This one, I think, is a newer one, and it came out because it definitely has a couple of things that are a little different. This is definitely a Hornby, where these say Meccano by Hornby. This one says Hornby, and then in small print says Meccano. Yeah, the bogie system, everything's different on it, but I'll sort it out. But yeah, still a gorgeous train, and I do like the car, and I think it adds an interesting change here with, but otherwise, the locomotive all the way through. I almost found a locomotive like this. It was a little bit out of my budget, but I was going to see if I could work something out, and unfortunately it sold before I could switch some things around. But otherwise, I almost had a 3-rail loco like this one for a decent price. But there it is. Yeah, that is the new dining car. So hopefully I will figure something out and be able to run it as a full consist. So a little bit of a disappointment because of the bogie. Again, it's kind of my fault. I knew it had a different coupler, but I thought they would be removable the same way the other cars in the system were. But boy, I can't assume. Unfortunately, there were no bottom pictures provided, so the bogie is a totally different style of bogie, and well, you learn. All right, the other thing I've done is you may know that I have been after a really good stretch of getting a lot of scenery done, I have done a couple of things with scenery. So the one that's a little more positive but a little less important, is the double O. So I'll put some video of the double O up. It's completely greened in the main lanes. There's an edge on the outside I didn't do because it's just very hard to do it and not make a mess under there. So I'm just going to leave that out. And I'm going to put some of those stone walls that I bought to experiment with for retaining walls on the other side, the Dummenhorst. Speaking of the Dummenhorst side, I'm going to follow that up with some video showing you what I've done with the two sides where I was thinking of putting retaining walls. All right, so let's get to those videos. Okay, so anybody who saw my Friday live stream will know, and also when I did the video of the French train going around, I had done this end. Well, over the weekend, I went ahead and did the rest of it. So it's all green, and I'm going to be pushing these walls. Now, I'm waiting for it to finish drying, and so everything's a mess down here still. Had to move things out of the way so I could fit myself in there, but some of my really old wargaming trees and some I picked up from Herb, and I put another batch. I don't know how well you can see them. If you're on a phone screen, you probably can't see, but I put a few more trees, not trains, down at that end. Nothing on this side yet. I'll work on that. This is the camera angle side, so I don't want to put anything in the way there. But yeah, so that is all greened up, so it might be a little more fun to look at trains going around on it. Okay, and the last bit is here. You can already see it. That was pink foam and brown paint, and even some of the Woodland Scenics white foam, styrofoam incline unit blocks in there. And I wanted to put retaining walls even though I knew it wasn't natural, or let me rephrase that. I wanted to put retaining walls even though it wasn't how it is in real life, that it wasn't natural, because in real life it's just a natural slope downhill. Because I have my Fowler car system, and the road goes out there, and I felt that if I came too far out, it would be in the way in the road. Well, on this end, I actually had enough room, so I just cut some foam with a little bit of a slope, and I put it in. And then I put some grass, and then I still had one last, I had a unopened bag and a few scattered of these El Cheapo Chinese trees that I picked up off of Amazon a long time ago when I had some other ideas I was going to do. So I've put that in. I don't like the way the trees look. Really, the hills are covered with what I call weed trees, very skinny trees with limited branches and just very shaggy and whatever. But at least for now, it's kind of a scenery. I suppose I could just take all the trees off and leave it as is. And then this is the side that's more of an issue. I'm going to go over to the other side. Over here, I knew room was going to be tight, and I really should do retaining walls. I may go back there. I did not even cut foam. I couldn't cut the foam thin enough. And so I actually used a little bit of foam insulation and shaved it back. It's very square. I'll go over closer to it and you can see what I mean. Now I came out about 1/8 of an inch, and you can see the tread here, that little wire there going all the way around. That is the Fowler car wire. And the problem with that is, I have to put this in place. That is supposed to be the interior lane, and as you can see, the exterior lane doesn't fit. And I did not come out very far, so the exterior lane may not have fit. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to rip all this Fowler car wiring out, and I'm just going to redesign it and give myself room. I could rip this out, but it was a tight fit as is. I really did not come out that far, and as you can see, it really is a drastic drop off. So I'm just going to rip the Fowler car. Actually, that's Wiesmann magnetic tape. I'm going to rip that tape out and just reset it and redo it. I hope I won't create too much of an issue. I think I should be able to come down. I just need about 1.5 inches, and I clearly have that. It's going to make the angle coming in here a little awkward, but I do have that inch or so to come over here. That's about 2.5, 3 inches there. So it'd be coming in tight here if I can get it to work, actually going out tight. This one will be fine coming in. But yeah, that's going to create its own little hassle. But I want to get this in, get Delmenhorst done. Then I'm going to come back and mess with this. I don't know if I'll get to it before the big holidays of November and December. I'm really hoping I'll be done with Delmenhorst so that over Christmas break, when I'm going to need a couple of helping hands and Joyce will be home, I'll be able to do that. But that's how it looks. Again, I'm not thrilled with it now, but this is just level 1. And it does solve the problem. I've done it. But it is going to force me to redo this and maybe just rethink the whole design in here. The problem is if I don't reuse the tape loops I have, I'll have to really cut out just a big section of board here and a big section of board down there. I'll just cut out squares and replace them with squares. That would be the easiest thing, and just still use the straight lines as they are. But so that's where we're at. But it's more scenery in. And I still have to do retaining wall and such all the way down and around that side. And then behind the hill, that will be retaining wall. Although I really do have room to do sort of a natural look. Because as I've mentioned, that hill with the windmill technically doesn't belong. There are no hills in Delmenhorst, and there's no windmill in Delmenhorst. There's a windmill in Bremen, and originally I was going to move that down to the Bremen side. I still could. I'd have to repaint it, but since the cats broke it beyond fixing and working repair, I don't know what I'll do with it. But it's become such a an icon on my layout. A lot of people like the windmill. They mention it in comments and in live streams. So we did get the more natural scenery around here. And when I get rid of these trees and replace it with the type of trees I'm looking for, which will be more money, and I'm not going to make my own. I just, I don't have the patience and time to do that. Oh, I have the time. I just don't have the patience or the wherewithal to do it. But I don't know. You guys who know my live stream will have to tell me whether it's, even if I don't like the way it looks, that it still looks better than foam and holes underneath where the incline pieces were and all that. Whether it looks better or not, you guys will have to tell me. But those trees are just so cheap. So at least now from Delmenhorst around, Delmenhorst Station and around into the town of Delmenhorst is now all natural scenery as it is in real life. So I guess that's a positive. But yeah, I'm not feeling as positive a vibe with how it looks compared to when I greened all this up and that up. I'm more positive about what I did with the 00 layout. So once I get the trees I want on there and bushes and wildflower and so forth on it, they'll definitely kick up. Of course, I have to do that around everywhere. Okay, So that's what I've been up to. Probably sound a little negative. It was a little frustrating. I'm a little mad at myself. But again, there was no way of knowing. I bought the car because it was the model number I needed. It was the least expensive it was. And the picture showed what couplers it had. I just assumed those couplers, right? That I could remove those couplers the way I did on the other cars and switch them out for proper couplers that go with this train set. No, the coupler is one piece on the bogie. So I do have a backup plan, so we'll see how it works. And then obviously I clearly am not, I can't say I'm glad I did it. In some ways I am glad I got that done because it's been something that's needed done, and I finally made a decision and worked on it. And when I get working, I work intensive and fast. And I think it really is the trees. I mean, the hills do feel a little too steep, but when I look at my older pictures of Delmenhorst Station, they don't come out at a wide angle either. You have to make concessions, right? And it's better than having the whole thing retaining wall. It creates a nice scenic break, but I think it's just how cheap the trees are. And hey, I bought the trees and I put them on because I'd rather have something on there than nothing. So I'd rather have cheap ugly on there than nothing on there. And it's just going to take me a day or two, and maybe by Friday's live stream with trains running by, I'll feel better about it. I'm just it was not a happy decision, and it forced me to maybe realize that I have to adjust the Fowler car more than I want to. And I got to do what I got to do. And I was never quite happy with the way I laid the wires in as they sit there. So this is going to force me to fix the whole situation. And so in the long run, it's probably going to be a positive. But right now, I'm just sort of like, I'm not feeling like, yeah, that looks good the way I did when I greened the layout up as I was progressing with the green. This one, it's like, yeah, I greened it, and I'm not happy with how it looks. So anyhow, if you've listened to me babble this far, I want to thank you all for watching. And until my next video, counting down to 1,000 videos posted. A lot of different landmarks this year. 2,500 subs. I broke a couple other plateaus. 250 live streams. Yeah, I'll talk more about it end of the year video in a couple of months. So, until next time, my friends, I'm going to say Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains. Take care, everybody.